Hello guys, my name is Siddharth Varde and this is Fundamentals1 Mat2 Answer8. Okay, so the first question is, what is world space, local space and screen space? Okay, so world space is like uh, s- space uh, it's like a position of an object from the center of the world. Okay, so the center of the scene. What I mean by world is, so every scene has a center that is 000, and like when I create any object inside the scene, uh, the, uh, that object's position is calculated like according to the position of that center of the scene, right? That is 000. So let's say my object is on 555. That means like it is calculated from it is 5 meters away from the center of the world, center of the scene, in x-axis, y-axis and z-axis, right? So uh, it's a space of an object, or like a position of an object in comparison with the center of the world. Okay, then comes the local space. Okay, so local space is an position of an child object in comparison with the position of the parent object. Okay, so let's say let's say there is an object a, like a parent object, and it has an cube as a child. Then at the position of the parent object is 555, and the position of the child object is 111. So that 111 is calculated in comparison with the position of that uh, parent object. Okay, so in actual world space, the position of the child would be 666. So like the position of the parent plus some 111, right? So if I set the position of the child as 000, then it is exactly as the position of the parent object. So that is called a local space. Then comes the screen space. Okay, so screen space is like the position in in accordance with the screen, like bottom right position of the screen. Okay, so for example, like it is mainly used by UI elements. So for example, let's say I have a monitor uh, of an of a resolution that like 1920 by 1080. That it means that I have a 1920 pixels in width and 180 pixels 1080 pixels in height. Okay, so the bottom right position would be 00. So like if I set the position of an UI element as 00, so it would be at the bottom right corner. Okay, and if I say 19 like x position as 1920, then it would be at the right corner. And if I say 0 and 1080, then it would be on the top left corner. So that's a screen space. So like the space of an element in accordance with the screen like the origin of the screen, right? So then the second question is, name at least 3 expensive methods in Unity that that every developer should avoid with reason. Okay, so the three methods would be, first, find game object of type. Okay, so when I say find object of type. Okay, so when I use this method, it checks in entire hierarchy. Okay, so let's say there are 100 objects in hierarchy. So it will go to the first object and says, do you have any component of this type? Like it will search for all the components. Then in second object, it will search for all the components, right? Then the second method would be find game object with tag. Okay, so same thing happens. Like when I use this method, it searches in entire hierarchy for the game object that has the same tag. Okay, so like it's a very expensive operation. Both are very expensive operations. Then the third one would be get component in children. So this is also like uh, uh, like let's say there is a parent object and it has 100 childs, like 1,000 childs. So I'll go to the first child and say, ask, do you have this component that I require? Then the second child, do you have this component that I require? So if it has, then I stop executing the method. Otherwise I will go till the thousands, or like the last object, right? So that's also a very expensive method. Then there is another, like another methods, like the same variation of these methods. This is like first one would be find objects of type. Okay, so what it does is it looks in an entire hierarchy and returns the object of like the component, all the component that are of same type. So it doesn't matter if it has find or not. So like the find object of type would say, okay, when I find the first game object that has this component, I will return that component, right, and stop executing the method. But find components of type, it will say, okay, like I find one, I find second, third, like it won't stop until it searches the entire hierarchy. Then same goes with like find game objects with tag. Then the third one would be find like get components in children. So these methods are like really expensive. Thank you.